welcome to my sacred laundry room. I'm Dudley Evenson, and today I'd like to talk a little bit about a couple of ideas that Dean and I discovered years ago that have helped us to live our dreams. And then I want to share with you just some tools that you can use to help you live your own dreams. And in our upcoming book, well, it may be published by the time you look at this, it's called Quieting the Monkey Mind, How to Meditate with Music. I talk about the aspects that we used to hear. Now, Dean and I are children of the 60s, so these were maxims that were circulating around that time, and we had first discovered them, so they were keen on our minds. We were like, okay, what's going on here? One is called go with the flow. So you've probably heard that one before. Go with the flow. Okay, something happens, go with the flow, no worries. And that was the first one. The second one was you create your own reality. So that sounds kind of contradictory in a way. Something happens, you're supposed to go with the flow, but then how are you supposed to create your own reality? So the way Dean and I discovered to work with these two principles is this. Life happens. Life, as according to the Buddhas, life is suffering, and there is a lot of suffering. We have illness, we have pain, we have loss, there's abuse, there's horrible things that happen in our world that come up to us, or we have financial problems or relationship problems. Those are issues that come up. What is happening? So, or maybe we have an accident. Maybe we're in a car accident, or we fall down and hurt ourselves. Those are things that happen. So what do? Do we resist them mightily and freak out and grit our teeth and just fight what's happening? Well, most of the time we do. But if you want to kind of work with the universe in a cooperative manner a little bit, this is what I recommend. Go with the flow. So something happens, go with it. Not fighting it, and not resisting it mightily, but just sort of flowing with it. One of the things that Dean and I discovered early on when we were learning Tai Chi, there's this movement, and it's called, and I don't even know what it's called, but it's something where if your enemy or who you're fighting comes at you, if you fight him back, you're both going to be fighting for a long time. But if you just sort of do this, you just kind of turn. And then what happens is that energy, that negative energy that's coming towards you, instead of hitting you, it just flows past you. And then it falls on its face. So that's the first step. Go with the flow. The second one is you have your principles, you have your ideals, you have your values and beliefs and vision for your life. You may not even quite know what it is initially, and most of us don't. We just are born and we're trying to figure it all out. But we do have, passions, we have gifts, we have talents. We have things that light us up. What lights you up? What makes you happy? What inspires you? What do you do in life that makes you enjoy life more? And it could be anything, from being an artist, or maybe you like to write, or maybe you love taking care of children, maybe you love being in nature, something that lights you up and makes you happy. So that's called, that's moving toward your dreams. What is it that you would like to accomplish in your life that is your vision? So that's the part of you create your own reality. So what Dean and I figured out is that we had our passion and we had our dreams. And one of our dreams was that when we first met, we both realized we wanted to help this sad, sorry world because we saw so many problems and issues in it. And we wanted to use our artistic talents. Dean was a musician, I was a photographer. We both got into video and filmmaking. We wanted to use our skills to help in some way. So we started trying to put that together. Still didn't quite know how to make it work. We ended up buying early on in 1970, Dean and I bought one of the very first Sony half-inch black and white video porta-packs, and it was a 35-pound deck, and it had reel-to-reel tape, and it had a 8-pound camera connected by a cable, and we'd go around and make videos. And we became part of the early video movement. So this was something that really got us excited because it was a new thing, and it was actually we called it putting the tools of media in the hands of the people. Because prior to that, it was just ABC, NBC, and CBS, and there was a VHS kind of a public channel on television. 3 or 4 channels or stations. That was it. And when we got that video equipment, we went, wow, look at this world. There's things happening here, and we wanted to learn about them. So we started videotaping Native American elders and gurus from India and healers and environmentalists and people that were doing what we considered innovative, new thought ways of being. We were discovering ways of being. Many were ancient ways, but they were being adapted in modern times. So that was something that really turned us on. So by the end of all through the 70s, we lived in a half-size school bus, and we would travel around with our little children and videotape the world around us that was emerging. It was a new consciousness that was emerging. So that was pretty powerful. And we were willing to, we called it our decade of intentional poverty. So we didn't have any money. I mean, if Dean had got his master's in molecular biology, he could have gone on to be a research scientist or a professor or something like that, and we would have had sort of a good income and lived in a proper house and all, but we didn't. We chose to take this time in our lives and devote it to following our dreams and trying to understand what life was all about on the planet and try to make the world a better place. So then what happened in our case is by the end of the 70s, we had hundreds of hours of video, but nowhere to show them. We predated VCRs, there were no DVDs, there were no video cassettes, even there was just no way to get it out to people. There were a few playback decks around the country, maybe 200 at the most, but you can't really create a business by that method. So we were, here we are. We're going with the flow. We still have our vision. We have our dreams, and we're really trying to do a good thing in the world. But we weren't able to support ourselves. And then we had the opportunity. Now this is something comes up, and you take the opportunity to audio tape a Baba Ram Dass lecture. And as you may know, Ram Dass was the one who wrote the book Be Here Now, and this was very important in the early 70s that we were many young spiritual. He studied in India and had a guru and was learning meditation. And so we had gone to his lectures, and then we were able to get permission to audio tape his lecture. So we put a tape out, a little notice said, if you want to buy this tape, fill out the form, give us $5. And so we did that. And we got 50 orders, and we thought, oh, this is interesting because people have cassette players at home, audio cassette players. They didn't have anything to do with video. So we had all these videos, and they were just there. But we couldn't get them out. We couldn't share them. So we started doing, we decided to go ahead and make that tape. And then we also made 4 other tapes, one of which was our own album called Desert Dawn Song. Dean went out in the desert and recorded the birds of nature in the morning. And then we added our music with flute and harp, and our cellist Jonathan Kramer came in and did his cello, and so we had this beautiful album, and we'd sell them at swap meets. We had these 5 little cassettes, bing, 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 1979, and we're selling them at the swap meet, and people would come up and say, wow, that's really nice, and I really like that music. It really helps me to be calm, or it helps me to meditate, or I play it when I do yoga, and massage and yoga were brand new at the time, so this is very new. So we're pushing the envelope. And we're learning that this is a possibility for us to actually start earning a living. And we would maybe sell 10 tapes on a weekend, and that was $100. And then we had to buy food with that and pay our rent or wherever we were staying. And then, of course, buy more cassettes to make the copies on and make more copies. And Dean would silk screen the covers. So bit by bit, and year by year, we grew, and we'd have more albums out. And then in the 90s, we started making CDs. And then by that time, we were the technology had caught up with us in terms of the video, so now we had much better video cameras. So then we started doing video again. So now we have a lot of videos on our video channel, Soundings of the Planet YouTube channel. So what am I saying here? I guess it's just about, what are your dreams? What is it that you're passionate about? What is it that turns you on, lights you up, and that is part of your gift to the world? We're here to serve the world, and I believe that the more we can incorporate service, that's another aspect of being successful. Because if you're aiming toward making money and making a lot of money and being a house, lots of TVs, cars, and all that, that's one thing. You may get that. That may be fine. But is that going to give you happiness? Not necessarily. One of the things I learned at a recent Jack Canfield workshop that I really appreciated, he did muscle testing, and he had a volunteer come up, and he had the person make certain statements, and then he'd do the muscle testing, which would determine if the truth or the power in that statement. But when the man made the statement, something about service, it was so strong. When it was just for himself, it was weak. So having an element of service in your passion, in your vision, in your dreams is going to enhance the ability to be successful, but not just for yourself. Because I don't believe we're just here for ourselves. I think we're here to serve the society, to serve our families, to serve our community, and of course to serve the planet. So go with the flow. Things come up. We deal with them. I remember even reading this thing in the Bible. It was, Jesus said, resist not evil. Now that's a hard one, because if evil comes, you kind of want to fight it. But at the same time, we were learning this go with the flow. So we kind of took those two principles and combined them and came with an understanding. That doesn't mean I'm going to not defend my family if a big, thing comes in front, and I try. You need to be aware. But in a general way, when things come up, whether it's an accident or an issue or a disappointment or some kind of suffering that comes up, to resist it mightily is to almost give it power. And so what we're trying to do is diminish its power, diminish the power of the suffering. And then by staying tuned in to your vision and your dreams and your principles and values, because you never want to let go of your principles and values, and then to keep cultivating. And that's kind of what we did with Soundings of the Planet. When we started Soundings of the Planet in 1979 to distribute our music, it was almost like the business itself had a soul. And it would tell us, okay, now you need to put a little classified ad in New Age Journal and Vegetarian Times and Yoga Journal, and send for a free catalog, music of the moment to take you beyond time, or things like that. And then we had it coded so we knew where the ads came from, which magazine. It was just like $25 to have these little ads in. And we started getting people to in addition to the swap meet customers and eventually the crafts fair customers, we got people just finding us, and then we got distributors and so on and so forth. So it was like, you listen to your vision, you listen to your dream, you create it. And in another video, I will talk about vision boards and visualizing in that way. But we didn't actually use vision boards as we were going through our process as much. But I believe in them, and I'm going to be developing that aspect as well, because it's never too late to start even fine-tuning your dreams, because I think I feel very blessed to have been able to live my dreams. Dean and I have super positive life and successful for the most part, not that we haven't had ups and downs, and I can go into that later. But when the downs come, it isn't that you want to resist them mightily. You want to keep on holding on, keep on to your dreams, do whatever you have to do to keep moving, don't give up. And then eventually the waves will come back up. And so what you want to do is kind of keep the waves so you're up higher all the time. So I hope this is helpful. It's just some principles that have been useful in our lives. And I am very passionate as a life coach in helping you to learn to live your dreams. What is it that you're here for? Why were you born? And what is it that you can do to enhance your mission and purpose in life, and be successful and prosperous and happy and healthy. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Check out our blog and music and video site, soundings.com. And as always, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel and find us on Facebook and everywhere else. So hope you have a great day and a great life. That's what it's all about. Thank you.